Me estás llamando por tercera vez,
¿Quién?
Jacqueline.
No le contestes.
Tu teléfono. Pero cuando me llamó la primera estaba con Adriana. Le dije que estabas en la bañera.
¿Quieres traerme el teléfono acá?
¿Eh?
¿Quieres traerme el teléfono acá?
Acá dice una que si que
No
llamaba,
la voy a llamar.
¿no?
Ten.
Okay.
Amar Rav Zera, Moed Rebbe Leinin Knas, the Kula Mishama. We talked about if 10 men rape a Nara Amoirasa, we said before only one of them would be put to death because she's not a basula after the first run. But regarding the knas that you have to pay to her father, they all pay. Maishnar Miktola, why is that different? Shiny Hasam, the Amra Kra Umesa Isha Sheshachavi Ma Levado. Only one person gets killed. No more. I've Rabban Hai Levado Mai Abdillah. Maboy Luchalitanya. Umesu Gam Shnehem. Ad Yushavin Keechad. Both the man and the woman have to be of age that they're punishable. A girl above 12, a boy above 13. If one of them was a cotton, then the other one doesn't get killed either. It's got to be equal. The Rabbi Shea. Rabbi Yonis, Rabbi Mesa, Aisha Shechavi Malavado. No. That is, even if the girl is a katana, he would chayv misa. Or if the girl was an adult and he was 10, but his bia is a bia above the age of 9, she would be killed based on that. Now, Rav Yochanan Haisraminole. We said yesterday that a husband, when he has relations with his wife through anal intercourse, via shelo kedarka, she becomes a ba'ula. But if another man does, she remains a basula. So where does he get that? Imkei nichtav kra ba'ulas ish, my ba'ulas bal shvamina tarti. We learned both halachas. That a woman can be acquired in Kiddushin with Bia, and only the Baal has the power to make her a Ba'ula. Iboilu. This is a theoretical question. Tchilas Bia koina or sof Bia koina? Intercourse starts with initial penetration, and then it ends. There's soif Bia. So what acquires the woman? The tchilas bia or the soif bia? What would be enough kamina? Kigon, one man just inserted the tip. That's called ha'arapa. So that's only tchilas bia. Meanwhile, another man hands her pashta yada v'kibla kiddush mecher. She reaches out and accepts kiddushin from another man. So if we say that the beginning of the bia is koina, then the second kiddushin is not chal. But if it's only soif bia, then the first kiddushin is chal. Or inami koin gadol dekakoni bebia. The kakoni besula bebia. A Kohen Gadol marries a besula. Now, the problem is, if only soif bia is koine her, at the beginning of the bia made her not a besula. Kohen Gadol would not be able to acquire a woman through bia, only through kesef and shtar. So Amra Meimish made Rava Kol Aboil died to Gemar bia. So the halacha is the bia only acquires her at soif bia. Iboilu bia. When you're mizkadesh bebia, is it a combination kiddushin and nisuin? So, for example, sleeping with your wife after chuppah, that is the final nisuin. Or is it not? It's only bia of kiddushin and it doesn't do nisuin as well. Arak erusin also. What's the nafkamina? Nafkamina liyorsha, meaning when you give a woman kiddushin only, and there's no chuppah yet or no nisuin, you don't inherit her. Liyorsha, litamela, if you're going to go to her funeral, lahafer, to annul, lahafer nedarea. Iamrit nisuin oiseh. If we say that when you're makadosh bebia, there's also nisuin, then yorsha metamelo mefer nedarea by himself. He can inherit her. He can go to her funeral. However, yamrit erusin oiseh, but it doesn't do nisuin. Eina yorsha ve'eina metamelo ve'eina mefer nedarea. My Amra by Toshma. Ha'av zakai bevito b'kiddushah, and a father collects for his minor daughter the kesef kiddushin, the kesef b'shtar b'bia. The zakai b'mitziasa, whatever his daughter finds belongs to the father. Well, might say that whatever she earns belongs to the father. And if she makes nedarim, v'afars nedarim. Umakabel is gita. He can receive a get on her behalf if she's a ktan. Ve'eno oichel peres. A father doesn't eat the fruits of a field that she inherits from her mother. B'chayeh, as long as she's alive. Nisis. Now, once she has nesuin with a man, yes, a husband does eat peros from her fields while she's alive. Now, ktani, whatever you want to say comes out, bia, uktani nisis, which it implies it's a separate process, that the bia only made kiddushin and not nisuin. The Gemara says, no, kiktani nisis asha'ara. That's on kesef and shtar. There you need a nisuin with bia, but maybe by mekadosh b'bia there would be nisuin as well. Rav Toshma, bas shalosh shanim v'yomecha, a girl above the age of 3. So her bia is considered a halachic bia. Prior to that, no. 1 second. Therefore, if a man is miskadesher with bia, the kiddushin is chal. Reuven and Shimon. Reuven dies, and Reuven's wife falls to Shimon, and the wife is 4 years old, and Shimon has bia with her. She becomes his wife. And Chayav aleh mishum eishes ish. If the father had accepted kesef kiddushin and someone sleeps with her, he would get punished with misa. Umetames boyal. If she's a nida and someone sleeps with her, the bia causes him to become tameh, l'tameh mishkav tachton ke'elyon, so that what he sits on, like a sofa or 10 mattresses, they all become tameh, even though he didn't touch them. If she was less than 3, she would not be matameh the person who slept with her. V'im nisas l'kohen, oichelas betruma. She gets married to a Kohen, she can eat truma. If any of the prohibited relations has relations with her, they're put to death. However, he Petura, she would not be put to death because she's a Ketana. If a goy, a mitzri, a ptuadaka, any puzzle-dika person that is also to have relations with would puzzle her as a zona. So she wouldn't be able to marry a Kohen. It's only if there is halachic bia. So once she's 3.5, a bia with such a person will puzzle her. That's the baraisa. Tani, that if she was miskadeshes bebia as one thing, uktani of inisas lakoyen, that there's 2 different things. And that the bia didn't make nesuin. So the Gemara says no. Hachi kamer. This is how you have to understand the brisa. Ihani nesuin de koininu. If when she had kiddushin through bia, it was with a kohen and that was nesuin oichelas betruma. It's not 2 different things, and therefore you can't prove from here that bia doesn't do nesuin. Toshma. Ukvar Shalach Yochanan ben Bagbag. Either Rav Yehuda ben Beseira l'Netzivin. Shemati alecha shata oimer arusa bas Yisrael. I heard that you paskin that a girl who received kiddushin from a Kohen, oichelos betruma, without nesuin. Shalach lo. So Rav Yehuda ben Beseira says, "Va'ata yato American." You don't agree? Mulzakani b'cha shata boki b'chadrei Torah. I had a chazaka that you were an expert Talmid Chacham, and you know how to lead Rosh b'Kal V'chomer. So iyata yodea. So why wouldn't you know this Kal V'chomer? Umar shivcha knanis she'ein biyasa machilasa betruma. A shivcha knanis that a Kohen lived with is not what causes her to be able to eat truma, and there's no kiddushin. But kaspa machilas betruma, the fact that he bought her, allows her to eat truma. So zu, a regular woman who was given kiddushin, should be also a machilas betruma. That the bia to a kohen causes her to eat truma. Einodin shekaspa, that giving her kesef kiddushin machilas betruma. So it looks like Minatorah, a Bas Yisrael who was Mekadesh to a Kohen can eat Truma. Aval ma esa shere armu chachamim, the chachamim made gzeira, ein arusa Bas Yisrael chas betruma ad shetikan l'chuppah, because since she's still living in her father's house, we're concerned that her husband will give her a cup of wine, truma, and she'll give it to her brothers. Now, the Gemara wants to analyze this case, Heichidam. What's the exact case? Iba bia, shayidei chuppah. Are we talking about regular bia after chuppah, like what we do, like after nesuin? And the kesef is kiddushin. And there was original kiddushin, and then the chuppah sort of sealed the deal. Ayudei chuppah with bia. So there's no shaila that with both of those things, and with certainly with chuppah after kiddushin, she's going to be able to eat truma. Even the Rabbana would hold that. So what is Ben Beseira? On what case is he holding that there was a gzeira that she shouldn't eat? The bia shayidei chuppah and kiddush shekesu shlayidei chuppah. And therefore, hacha by bia, they're tarti. There are two types of kinyan, bia and chuppah. And by kesef, there's only one chada. Elalav. So what's the comparison between kesef and bia? The bia shelo yedei chuppah, meaning what we're trying to ask a question is the bia that a person is using to make kiddushin. The kesef shelo yedei chuppah, kesef kiddushin. So iyamrit bishlam nesuin oiseh. So if we're going to say that bia with kiddushin makes nesuin, mishmachi pshitale. That why it was pasha to Rav Yehuda. The alima la bia mi kesef. That bia is stronger than kesef, because the kesef kiddushin will only make kiddushin, but kiddushin with bia will make nesuin as well. But if you're not going to learn that way, Eli Amrit, if you're going to tell me that bia only does kiddushin oiseh, so ma'ishna hachad b'shitale, then why was it pasha to him that she eats truma? U'ma'ishna hachad b'safkale, and by kiddushay kesef he was mesupik, and you have to learn kavachomer. I mean, in both cases, she would only be an arusa, and arusa doesn't normally eat truma. So Amrav Nachman Yitzchak Loilam Eimelacha Meduber Shlayidei Chuppah v'Kesef Shlayidei Chuppah. Damad bia that follows chuppah, but kesef that comes with regular kiddushin. What's the with the kamen hacha tarti v'hacha chada? By bia, there's two ways of doing a kinyan, and by kesef only one. But kavachomer mia isa. There is a kavachomer v'hachi shalach lei, and this was the kavachomer that Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira sent. Umar shifcha knani she'ein biyasa machilasa b'truma. A Kohen sleeping with a shifcha knanis does not cause her to eat truma. Afilo yedei chuppah, even if you did chuppah with her. Yet kaspa machilasa below chuppah. When you acquire with money, she eats. Zu regular arusa bas Yisrael. Shebiyasa machilasa b'truma, that when a Kohen sleeps with her, al yedei chuppah. Eino din shekaspa mechlos betruma. Certainly, kesef kiddushin will be meichel or below chuppah, but then you have the gzeira of Almai Esher Sheyom Chachamim. Ein arusa bat Yisrael chas betruma shetikans chuppah mishum ula, which is that she's going to give it to her brothers. Uben Bagbag says you can't learn the kavachomer. Gabi shivcha knainis, because when you acquire shivcha knainis with money, Lo shayra b'kaniyat. He didn't leave anything out. You acquire it completely. Hacha by kiddushin shayra b'kinyana. The kinyan by kiddushin is not a final kiddushin. It has to be followed by chuppah. So they're not comparable. Ravina Omar, he explains it completely different. Even if bia doesn't make nisuin midaraisa, mishra pshita le'da'achma. It was pashut for Rav Yechon Bagbag that she eats truma no matter what, even if she was only given kesef kiddush, because it says kinyan kaspo. Umid rabbananu deshalach lei. He was asking a question regarding this gzeira. V'achi shalach lei. Shomati alecha shata oimer arusa bas Yisrael ches betruma. I heard that you paskin that a regular bas Yisrael who gets kiddushin from a kohen can eat truma. And Loi chayshes simpno. We're not concerned that later on we're going to find out that she has a mum, and he wants to go back on the kiddushin, and she ended up eating truma not according to the din. Azar shalachal trumas chayv misa. So shalach lei Rabbi Yehuda ben Absir sent back what? Ve'ata yato merkein. Mosachani b'chashat baki b'chadrei Torah. Litrosh b'kol v'chomer. Yata yodea. And you don't even know how to learn a kol v'chomer. Umashach v'kanani shein b'yosem achilasa b'truma. A shivcha that a kohen who lives with her cannot feed her truma. Yet, kaspa machilasa b'truma, the money that was used to buy her, makes her able to eat truma. V'lo chashin l'simpo. And we're not concerned that later on he's going to discover that the shivcha has a mum and he wants to go back on the deal. So zu, a woman who gets kiddushin, should be also mechilasa b'truma. Nusuin bia causes her to eat truma. Eino din shekaspa mechilasa b'truma. Certainly, kesef kiddushin will work as well. V'lo nechash l'simpon, and we're not going to worry that they're going to discover a mum later on. Aval ma'aser sharei b'chachamim arusa b'yisrael eino chelas b'truma ad shetikanis l'chuppah. We're going to learn a little gittin today. So let's take out your gittin.